I even did a survey about misconceptions that foreigners have of Ukraine, but it was before the full-scale invasion. And the most popular ones were that Ukraine was a corrupted country, that it was poor and undeveloped, which I think still remains as a misconception to a large extent. So I'm constantly trying to prove otherwise, because Ukraine is a super dynamic and has a great potential. It's not a country of poverty. And even like the situation with corruption is changing. One of the biggest misconceptions about Ukraine is that Ukraine is full of neo-Nazis, that it's a far-right country. And it sounds ridiculous to me, because I, as a person that comes from the west of Ukraine, that grew up there and grew up in this pro-Ukrainian spirit, can say that I'm I consider myself the most liberal, one of the most liberal Ukrainians, and I'm totally pro-human rights. And that doesn't mean that I don't love my country, but it doesn't make me a far-right person. So this is still a huge misconception about Ukraine, even though it's changing. I think most of Western audiences believe that narrative that Ukrainians were far-right and full of neo-Nazis just because of Russian propaganda, since Russia was blowing that narrative for years, since Euromaidan revolution. But Ukrainians have proved otherwise, because the country after the revolution was developing so fast and was moving towards Europe in terms of its values and vision of life, in terms of development in different spheres. Ukrainians are very freedom-loving people. They love their country, but they are also very progressive. And they want to be part of the world, like of the Western world. They don't concentrate on themselves. And of course, you can find many statistics that prove that Ukrainians are the least anti-Semite people in Europe, for example, much less anti-Semite than Russians or even other European countries. We can even see a lot of Jews fighting in the East and rooting for Ukraine. Ukraine is a super diverse country. The accusation that we are Nazis or super nationalists is wrong also for that reason, because there are there are dozens of different ethnicities in Ukraine that speak other languages, that have their own culture, but they are part of Ukrainian state, and they consider themselves Ukrainian. So the fact that Russia accuses Ukrainians in being neo-Nazis doesn't make sense in terms of Ukraine as a political nation. It's not an ethnic nation, it's a political nation.